Hi, I'm Sarah, and I've been called to give a collective reading today on abundance, love, and joy, which is my specific area of interest. It covers a lot, including radiant good health. I actually recorded this already. I didn't have the microphone on, so that's why I've got quite a few cards out on the table. On the plus side, I I've got the guts of the message. So the first cards that came out today for the collective, in terms of what do we need to know about attracting more abundance, love, and joy into our lives. The first two cards were pretty funny. Money going out, then money coming in. The third card was selfish. So I don't think any of us likes to be selfish. So we're going to look into what that actually means. The two guiding cards that I pulled to start with were both major arcanas, which is a powerful start. So we've got the Empress as the first card out, and she is the Queen of Queens. She's a person, a feminine energy, not necessarily female, of course, who has their shit together in kind of every domain. So that's ideas, that's emotions, that's actions, and it's finances and resources. So there's sort of a message here that when you're in an alignment in every aspect of your life, that is when the abundance starts to flow. Because if you've got some erratic energy, or you've got imbalances, maybe you have great ideas but there's no action, or maybe you sort of follow your emotions so much that maybe the money's going out on things that it shouldn't go out towards. So when you gather, you gather, you get your shit together basically on these areas, and get balance and harmony. That is when good things start to happen. The card that came next with it is a strength card. And there is the lion in the card has been tamed there, not through brute force, but actually through gentle love. And that obviously takes time. It doesn't happen overnight. That's a wild beast there. And I think we can all admit that our urges to, when we're out of balance, can feel like a wild animal. So it is... be gentle with yourself, take time. It's rewards for perseverance. Life's a bit of a spiral, so as long as you're on the upward spiral where the things that come around to test you, maybe you're learning a little bit each time so that you can ascend. And it takes time. Just be gentle with yourself to gain mastery over any area of your life that is out of balance, and that's when the good things will start to come in. That's the kind of vibe that I'm getting here. So money going out, money coming in. I think we all panic when the money goes out. I know I do. It seems to all happen at once, and you might even tell yourself, I'm going to not spend money, and then suddenly all these things pop up, and it's kind of the universe is laughing at you, really. But then it is balanced by money coming in. It's about having faith that the money will come in. And the interesting thing here was this selfishness card. And I pulled a couple of tarot cards to see what that meant. Are we being too selfish? Are we not being selfish enough? No, in fact, what I'll do first, I actually... love my astrology, and so I've made some little astrology cards here to sort of give me a prompt about what this message, to bring it to life a bit. So what we've got here is Juno, which is the wife energy. It's sort of the part of us that wants to be married, wants to be in a committed relationship. And in terms of a transit energy for this reading, what I pulled was an inconjunct with the sun. So the sun is usually your sun sign, your essence, your energy. There's something about being a wife, or the desire to be a wife, that isn't meshing at the moment with your energy. Now, the sign that I pulled out with this is Leo. And Leo is ruled by the sun, so there's a nice congruence there. And Leo's all about creation. So there's something, perhaps, it's about showing who you are, showing your talents, developing your talents, not being afraid to be seen. Um, and so there's maybe you are putting on a slightly different face, a mask to try and attract a relationship. Maybe there's something about not just being in true alignment with who you actually are, as you're focused on getting into a relationship or staying in a relationship. So maybe there are some compromises that you're making that you shouldn't be making. And the house that came out with this was the ninth house, and that is all about international travel, which is lovely. It's all about philosophies, finding your own spiritual path, a higher power, inspiration from above. It's also about communicating on a broad scale. It's about broadcasting, really. So some of you are going to, and this is me. This is my first reading, and this is my worst nightmare, to be perfectly honest. Kind of secretly, Leo, putting yourself out there with a bit to a broader audience, being your authentic self, and sort of putting because there's no easy connection there with the relationship side, with relationship wants. Just put that to the side for the moment. It's time to focus on yourself. And so that's where the selfish card really comes to light. It is time to focus on yourself and your gifts, and just becoming this balanced queen who has every aspect of life sorted out in a gentle way, not in that brute force way. And it's about shining. So Leo is actually, I'm sure you're aware, has a reputation in the negative for being a bit selfish. So I think this is saying this is a time for you to develop yourself, selfish sun. So that's sort of an interesting message to take on board, because it doesn't sit well with a lot of us. We give and give and give, and that's no way for abundance. It's like having a hole in your bucket. You just cannot sustain yourself or anyone else if you've got a hole in your bucket, dear Liza. So I pulled a couple of tarot cards to sort of sum up, to see if we're on the right track here, to see what the messages are. We got the Queen of Pentacles, so she's part of this Empress. This is the financial side, abundance, really marshalling her resources in a clever way, and it is having mastery over that area. And then we have the Temperance card for balance. So that really does bring this whole lot into alignment. Be balanced with your finances. Now, what I also did is pulled a couple of my other oracle cards that I've created to find out what sort of energies we could use to follow through with this. What sort of energies and tools. So for the energies, I use a little deck of tree cards, and the one I pulled was Lone Pine. So again, the pine that stands alone is not thinking about a relationship. It is secure and determined. It's a big, sturdy tree. It does stand alone. It's stoic. It sort of gives me Aries vibes, charging out, doing your own thing, being very self-motivated. So we're getting this sort of selfish, the positive aspects of being selfish again reiterated, which is fantastic. And it isn't a card of frosty aloneness. It is a nurturing kind of card. You think about all the pine cones and pine needles. It's sort of got a Christmassy vibe, to be honest. So it's not like cutting yourself off, but it is really doing something for yourself or on your own. And the tools, I've made another oracle deck which does crack me up. It's all based on the building site. I've never been on a building site in my life, look at me, but the card that I pulled was the Bandsaw, and that's that scary looking blade that comes that is attached, and you run the board through the blade to cut it. I've never used one, wouldn't really know what they do apart from the basics, but the energy that comes through that is taking a critical look at your life and all these aspects and really cutting out anything extraneous. So that could be looking for cutting expenses. It could be just taking a critical look at your life, all these aspects, and really seeing, what is surplus, and cutting things down into manageable chunks so that you can actually make something with the bits. A big log is just hard to do something with. You can't carry it easily. Cut it down into beautiful, nice, even shapes, and then you can start to build something, from that. And that, I really like this energy for us. It does mean that you're paying really close attention to what you're doing, so that you are actually managing your resources. You take your eye off the ball and you suddenly lose some fingers. So it is sort of saying, let's take some good solid control, cut things down to smaller sizes. And what we did get to finish off, I think, just to repeat, we've got the Queen of Pentacles. She's the one who's got her shit together, and Temperance, which is all about balance, and it's just being very judicious with your energy. So it's not just about money, it's where does your energy go and where do you want to be. So let's sort of be a bit more aware of where our energy's going, where we're squandering it, and just really hold it together, bring it in, and attract a balanced energy, cultivate the balanced energy within ourselves so that we don't have a hole in our bucket. We are gathering resources, we're giving resources to others in a balanced manner, we're receiving as well as giving in harmony and balance, so we're not in debt, and we're not going crazy with the selfishness and filling up our bucket and keeping it to ourselves, because that will be a handbrake on abundance. You want that free flowing, and that's what you want. Money coming in, money going out, just being aware that there's plenty for everyone, and not just knowing that, but feeling it. And I know it's hard sometimes, but you got this.